Flowers of joy can be found through the thought of you. I'll be troubled and puzzled and scorned by your love. Running Back Radio, May 5th, 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, we are broadcasting from that old ass peppermint my mama kept in her church purse. By the way, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. My name is Deontay. On Twitter at I Got Away With Words. That's at IGOTAWYWITWORDS. That is.
This is Ant. My Twitter and Instagram handles are at Ant the Liberated. The show's social media handles are Run It Back Radio. Once again, that is at Run It Back Radio. And by the way, brother, today is May the 12th. Don't push us back.
Today is May the 12th. But Mother's Day is right around the corner.
Yeah. Like,
what I said?
Like 2 days. You said today's May the 5th. Like,
you
still in the mindset of Cinco de Mayo. I'm
sorry, man.
You still want to swirl margarita or
It's
something.
the potato salad.
Oh.
It's the potato
salad.
We're gonna talk about potato salad. This has been a interesting week, ladies and gentlemen. For example, we learned not to look at Steve Harvey in the face without an appointment. We also learned that James Harden and any chance he would be the MVP disappeared last night against the Spurs. The Nationals dropped 2 out of 3 against the Orioles. The Wizards are on the brink of elimination. The Caps are eliminated again. Chavez Jr. disappointed the entire country of Mexico. The U.S. Secretary of Education got the Apollo treatment. Colin Kaepernick remains unsigned. Josh Gordon is still on Daddy Goodell's naughty list. Tom Brady is on the cover of the new Madden game. New Orleans removes Confederate monuments only 152 years after the Civil War, and we continue to be stunned by how whiteness works. Mr. Engineer, play that first clip, please.
Soul food, alright. Everything is for free, as good as it can be. Come and get some soul food. Sunday morning, where you eating at? I'm on 1365.
For those of you not familiar with the track that's playing in the background, that is Goody Mob from 1995, Soul Food. And what makes that so apropos is that we are joined by 2 lovely guests on this evening. These 2 started, I believe, in their industry, roughly 2 years ago. And so they were inspired by their mom. And so they would, go forward, cook for various events, ministries, things of that nature. And so they got encouragement, from their church home to pretty much go into business. And so these 2 decided to go into business. And now they are established as Robin and Renee Catering. Please join me in welcoming Robin and Renee. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us on this evening.
Glad to be here.
Okay, so let me be honest with y'all. I'm going through a little something right now. So I'm a sports fan. I love all things DC Pro Sports. And I'm a fan of the Washington Capitals. And just in case you all have been under a rock, the Capitals have once again fallen short in the season that matters the most, the postseason. So right now, even though in a sense I've become accustomed to the Capitals losing in major games, it still hurts. It still bothers them. So because I'm going through this pain, and I'm sure the city as a whole is going through pain, I could use some comfort food. So let me ask you, when you ladies are going through, when you're dealing with something and you need some sort of solace in the form of food, is there a comfort food that you all go to help you through the pain?
Fried chicken, potato salad, a nice T-bone steak, and some baked beans.
Did you hit me with that T-bone?
Jesus.
Yeah. A nice T-bone. Talk about it. A nice T-bone. So, I want to know, what's your go-to item? I'm planning an NBA Finals watch party. Game 1. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Cavaliers versus the Warriors. LeBron James, Steph Curry. I got about 15 people coming through the house. What's on the menu, ladies? What do I need to be calling Robin and Renee to order? Tell me.
A lot of people would say the meatballs, the wingettes, potato salad, baked beans, and my sister her macaroni and cheese.
Mac and cheese. Now, I think we need to explore this mac and cheese a little more. I need to understand how many cheeses goes in the mac and cheese. Let's start there. How many cheeses, ladies? Please.
We can't tell you all our secrets.
I mean, just okay. Can you give me a hint?
It's more than 3.
More than
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Well, while Deontay is trying to analyze the amount of cheeses that go into the macaroni, I'm gonna continue to bless Jesus for what's before me, and which is the potato salad, which we spoke of, along with the baked beans and the fried chicken. So Renee, I don't think you got a chance to answer the initial question, which is there a comfort food that you go to in a time of need? You know, when you're going through, you need something to make you feel better.
Gummies.
Why you gotta tell my secret?
That ain't a secret.
I do. I love gummies, but I'm sitting there honestly while I was talking. I was thinking about a nice bowl of chili.
nice bowl of chili?
I want some homemade chili. Yes, minus the beans though.
Minus the beans.
Minus the beans.
So with your chili, do you go ground beef or ground turkey or ground chicken?
We actually can make it with both, but I prefer ground beef.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we put corn in our chili too.
Awesome. Okay.
Corn and
I'll
the
tell
chili.
that one secret. I won't tell.
Oh,
We
okay.
can't tell all of our ingredients.
Absolutely.
Because we're actually in the process of putting our stuff in stores.
Nice.
Really? Tell us about that.
It's a process, but prayerfully we'll have it done by the end of June. So you'll walk in the stores and Sam's Club and be like, "Oh, that's Robin and Renee." Yes, you'll see us in stores soon.
Awesome. I love it. Speaking
Now,
into
now, can the
existence.
people find you all on social media at all?
Of course, we're very active on social media. At robinandrenee.com is our website, and also our social media is Robin and Renee.
So in doing some research on you all and trying to familiarize myself with you all and your business, you know, outside of what I know of you personally, Renee, one thing that I saw was your slogan, and your slogan suggested the following: "We do it all, no event too small." So in you all's brief existence, could you possibly share with us some of your greatest catering experiences as well as not so great experiences?
The greatest, I would say, actually, like last week.
Okay.
We had 2 major events that happened. We catered an event for Kaiser, and we actually did a breakfast for back to school, not for back to school, for teachers, for DC Public Schools.
Okay.
So I would say those would be our 2 biggest events
Okay.
that we've done so far.
And do you have an experience that you would like to forget?
Yes. The wedding that we did a couple of years ago, and was very interesting. They had told us it was going to be about like 120 people. I think about 200 people showed up.
Oh.
And
So y'all ran out of chicken?
we ran out of food.
Oh.
Yes. And one lady, she looked at us. She actually cussed me out. And my lovely sister, I was looking for her, and she left me too. So I'm standing there with a little spoon and trying to give people what was left.
Okay. Well, it's unfortunate that they couldn't accept responsibility and understand that they dropped the ball on their end.
Of course.
And but it's unfortunate. That's just how some people operate. Outside of Kaiser Permanente, any other major clienteles that any other major clients that you all have worked with, or are there any potential? Church? Just church. How is it working with church people? I'm curious, and I only ask because I've worked in church kitchens before, and people can put their salvation in their pocket quickly or toss it out the window when it comes to food. So
Yes.
let me know, what is it like catering for a church event and dealing with church folk?
You have to remember where you are. You have to step back and pray sometimes. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
And sit that one person to the side.
Is that right? Sit them to the side? You
Yes.
gotta keep your cool face on.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Have you all ever been tempted to give people the right hand of fellowship? Or the left hand, whichever hand you prefer?
I have to be
Yes.
honest, yes.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
See, Robin can say stuff that I think.
so she's your Bernie Mac?
Yes, she
okay.
is.
All right.
Yeah.
She'll say what you're thinking.
Yes,
Okay.
I look
understood.
at her. She knows. All right, it's time for me
Okay.
to. Yeah.
All right.
No,
What's
when
your
Nana said,
earliest?
she said I'm real.
Yeah, she's real.
What's your earliest? I want to know from each of y'all. What's your earliest memory from cooking? Like learning how to cook, or cooking, or being in the kitchen around someone who was cooking, or how food made you feel. Like, give me your earliest memory, because
I would
at some point in
say-
time, everybody has one. Go ahead. Either one.
Go ahead.
I would say my grandmother.
And tell me about it.
I guess I was about 4 or 5, and she always used to make scrambled eggs in the cast iron pan and give me some apple butter and some ketchup.
I like that apple butter. That's Miss Renee.
Believe it or not, I just learned how to cook.
She sure did.
Yeah, I could not cook. McDonald's
She was
my
microwaving
best
stuff.
friend.
She was
McDonald's.
microwaving stuff up to
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Yes, McDonald's. I just learned probably about 10 years ago, I think.
Yep.
You was getting them nuggets, wasn't you?
And a Big Mac.
She telling all your
Telling
business.
everything.
All your business.
Since,
And a Big Mac.
since you all touched on McDonald's, I have something to ask in reference to that establishment, which is making a horrible decision. They're removing the high C orange from their drink menu. What are your thoughts on that? Oh, have you all heard about that?
No.
Yeah, they announced it.
I'm sorry,
a week
sir.
and a half,
What
2
is-
weeks ago. They
This is
removing high C orange.
this is breaking news.
Oh, you didn't know that either?
This is what is
Yeah, they're removing the high C orange from their drink menu.
what is happening right now.
I wish I could tell you that. Like, there's no
This
justification
is
for that.
this is blasphemy, sir.
Oh, it is. It is.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Are y'all serious though?
No, serious. Like, the story broke last week.
High C orange when I was a kid was everything.
It was.
I missed that.
Everything. High C orange
If
was
you
everything.
can't get Kool-Aid, you get your high C orange from McDonald's. Like, yeah, they remove. Yeah. So now that you all have been made aware of this, which is now breaking news to you, what are your thoughts? I can see some disturbance in your countenance. Like, you look a little bothered.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah. It's
So growing up, my earliest memory of food was my grandma. You know, down south, my grandmother was from a small town called Hopgood, North Carolina. Literally, a train track ran through the town to separate the black side of town from the white side of town. My grandmother would make biscuits from scratch. She didn't measure anything. And she had like these big, strong, rough hands, and she could just, it literally looked like it just all came together. It looked like a mess on the table, but by the time she was finished, it was a delicious biscuit coming out of the oven that was a wooden light oven, and it was like coming out of this steel pan, and it was just like so buttery and delicious, would fall apart, and it was just amazing. That's my earliest memory of being down south, waking up to those biscuits. That smell, you could smell that. You could be down the street playing with your cousins, and you smell that, and it's like, oh man. Or you wake up and smell it, it's like,
my
oh
goodness.
man. It's like you forget the fact. You head toward the kitchen, and your mom say, go in there, wash your face, brush your teeth, make your bed before you come in my kitchen. So that's my earliest memory of food, and that's why, so many people experience a lot of joy from food. So what you all are doing is extremely important and extremely valuable, especially to our community. We love our soul food, right?
Yes.
So, ladies, I want y'all to tell all of our listeners out there who are going to be having watch parties, who are going to be having events centered around the things that we love, sports, family, like Ann said, fellowship, friendship, all of those things. Tell them one more time how they can reach you all with the various methods, website, business numbers, all of that. Ladies.
Our website is robinandrenee.com. Our social media is Robin and Renee. And I'm trying to think, what else did you ask?
Is there a business number they can call or anything?
Right now, we're just using our
Website?
and we do have our phone numbers out there. My contact information is 240-604-4189. And Robin's telephone number is 240.
528-1468.
Well, ladies, want to take it out?
Well, we just want to thank you all for your time. We thank you for coming in and enlightening us on all things Robin and Renee Catering. You all are more than welcome to stick around and chill out with us for the rest of the show if you like, or if you have to go and handle other matters, given that your business is on and popping.
And definitely thanks for bringing us delicious
Yes,
food, too.
we bless God for you and
Wings,
everything
beans, and
that you
potato
brought.
salad. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sound you writing a
taste to
song
see.
right there.
Oh,
Yes.
taste to see that. Listen, the scripture has come to fruition. Oh, taste to see that the Lord is good, and yeah, He is good through this food. Make no mistake about it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to transition from our catering business and all things soul food, and then we're going to get into some more nourishment in reference of UFC 211. We will be joined by special guest Mrs. Janelle Owens, who has an amazing acumen of all things UFC and MMA. We'll be right back. This is Running Back Radio.
Hi, this is Renee from Robin and Renee Catering, and you're listening to Running Back Radio with Deontay and Ann.
Who is the baddest man on the planet Earth?
And still nobody gonna take his belt from me.
She is sensational.
The former champion will face Mexican phenom Rodriguez. Must be known.
Mayo dominant on the ground.
You do not want to miss this, ladies and gentlemen.
This card is almost too good.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. This is Run It Back Radio. We can be found on both Twitter and Instagram at Run It Back Radio, at RUNITBACK Radio. So Deontay, let me ask you, given who we just had discussion with, and given who's coming up next, is it safe to say that this is ladies' night here at Run It Back Radio? Can we go ahead and crown it as such?
It's almost ladies' night.
Okay.
We do got two brothers coming on later.
Touche.
But I will say this though. Of the ladies that we having on tonight, it's going to be hard for any other ladies to top them.
Absolutely. They're definitely setting a standard. Once again, we truly, truly appreciate Robin and Renee Catering for coming in and discussing all things Robin and Renee Catering. And now we are joined by what I would call an eighth wonder of the world. And I say that because it's one thing for a woman to have an acumen of mixed martial arts, specifically UFC. But when you have a sister, a black woman, a queen that knows the sport the way my next guest does, is truly a thing of beauty. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Miss Janelle Owens to the show. Janelle, thank you so much for calling in and joining us.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, thanks for coming on, Janelle. We appreciate you. We really do.
So for those of you who don't,
thank you for having me.
Absolutely, we're more than glad to have you. So for those of you who don't know, Janelle is she's a do-it-all type of woman. She prognosticates and recaps MMA cards. She's a bartender. She models. She does everything except fix the kitchen sink. She does a bit of everything. What doesn't she do? She's multifaceted. Right. So let me ask you, Janelle, what got you into the sport of mixed martial arts and UFC? What was it that made you say, you know what, I have to be a fan of this product?
Well, it started off with boxing, actually. My dad's been a huge boxing fan since I was a kid.
Okay.
So I grew up during the Roy Jones Jr. era and all of that, and I just remember watching boxing with him. And then I've got a few MMA fighters in my family. So it just kind of progressed as the sport got bigger, and as they actually moved further in their careers, I started getting more and more educated on it, and I just followed it. I've been watching MMA pretty much my whole life.
Okay. So do they fight for local promotions, or who do your family members fight with specifically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Local promotions, yeah.
Okay. Good deal. So what did it do for you as a fan once the women were implemented into UFC?
I think it's a long time coming. There's always been women in the sport of mixed martial arts. Mm-hmm. They were just waiting to get to a stage like the UFC, because mixed martial arts, of course, is one of the oldest sports in the world. And so it was just nice to finally see the women on the main stage, quite frankly, putting on sometimes more exciting fights than the men, especially when you had a star of the caliber of a Ronda Rousey, who was at one point the biggest MMA star in the world. So not only did they put women on the main stage, finally, we kind of took the stage by the reins and ran with it. So it was pretty awesome to see that.
And you know what? I'm absolutely glad you said that, because I actually wanted to touch on how, since the women have been implemented and involved in the UFC, which dates back to 2011, if I'm not mistaken. I have, not to say that I've seen every women's bout under the UFC umbrella, but I will say this: for every women's fight that I have seen, I have yet to see a boring or stale fight. Every woman's fight that I've witnessed thus far has been nothing short of entertainment. The women come to play ball. Make no mistake about it.
Oh, yeah. When you only have two weight classes, you're forcing pretty much all of the fighters into those two weight classes, which means you're getting the cream of the crop of all divisions and squeezing them into those two weight classes. So when we're watching these ladies, we are watching the best of the best. These are all very highly skilled and highly talented, even though there's some, of course, that stand above the rest, but everyone in both those divisions are quite talented.
And I could not agree with you more. So with that said, we're going to actually get into UFC 211, which is tomorrow night, emanating out of American Airlines Arena in Dallas, Texas, where this card will feature a double main event. The co-main event is the women's strawweight bout between champion Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and it took some serious pronunciation in elementary school type, you know what I mean, repetitions in order for me to execute that pronunciation. She'll be defending her belt against Jessica Andrade. And so going into this fight, based on what I'm saying and based on my knowledge of these two fighters, for Joanna to retain her strap, she's going to have to keep Jessica at a distance. She's going to have to, implement striking. I mean, she can't take it to the ground, but I'm not sure if she wants to get in a wrestling match with Jessica, because I'm looking at Jessica and I'm looking at how she's built, and, just knowing of her previous fights, she can work her way to the ground and she can display prowess on the ground. So I'm thinking she
definitely has wrestling.
Absolutely. And I'm thinking for Joanna to successfully win this fight and retain her title, she's going to have to strike like she never has before. Like, many refer to her as the strawweight with a heavyweight mentality. So what's your take on this fight?
Right.
And who do you expect to win?
Yeah, pretty much the same. She does have the reach advantage. Not only that, Joanna fights really long. So she uses her reach advantage very well. She keeps fighters at the end of her punches, the end of her kicks, and I look for her to do that. She also has really, really good takedown defense. It took someone the caliber of Claudia Gadelha to take her down. And as the fight goes on, the stronger she gets, and she already has a very high offensive output. So the challenge is on Jessica. This is an uphill battle for her, I feel. She'll have to find a way to get inside of that range somehow, try to lay some hands on her, mix it up with her wrestling. Because like I said, you don't want to be a one-trick pony with Joanna, because she can pretty much go with you anywhere. But the challenge is on Jessica here. Joanna's not the type to take anyone lightly.
No, she's not.
But it's going to be a high offensive output on both ladies, quite frankly. And I think they're going to get started right away. It's going to be explosive first round. It's going to be explosive as soon as the bell starts. So I'm super excited for this fight, because everyone expects Jessica to try to knock her out. She's more well-rounded than I think people think. So I don't know. But she needs to use all of her skills against Joanna.
Absolutely.
But it should be good.
Are these two female fighters the best female fighters in UFC?
The best female fighters of their division, Joanna's definitely head and shoulders above the rest. Jessica, I mean, you've got Claudia Gadelha. To me, if Joanna wasn't in that division, to me, Claudia would be champ. And I've said that for a long time, that is her best competition. So I would like to see Jessica go against Claudia Gadelha before I could actually say that about her. But Joanna most definitely in the strawweight division. Absolutely. And she's elevated the striking in both divisions, quite frankly. Her striking is second to none. It's magnificent. Quick hand speed, the angles. I mean, her footwork's on par. She does Muay Thai and a kickboxer, but she's light on her feet. She's not flat-footed. So she's just... She is one of the top females in both divisions, quite frankly.
So when it's all said and done, how do you see this fight playing out?
Jessica, to me, has her best shot in the first two rounds. First two rounds, she's never really been in a 5-round fight, especially not against someone who has the, like I said, the high offensive output of Joanna. She hits you a lot, and she doesn't stop. She has a very good cardio, and she gets stronger as the fight goes on. So for me, Jessica needs to put hands on her quickly. She needs to do something to disrupt her motion, to get her out of character, you know what I mean, quickly, early. Like I said, you don't want to be a one-trick pony, but quite frankly, all plans go out the window once you get punched in the face real hard. So if Jessica could lay some hands on her and disrupt her energy, maybe she could make something happen, get a submission. No one's above a knockout. I think Jessica is capable of knocking out any of the chicks in the strawweight division. So, but early, first 2-3 rounds, as the fight goes on, I do believe Joanna will begin to overtake that fight. I think she'll win the latter rounds.
That sounds very similar to how I see the fight playing out. Yeah, like Jessica would definitely have to take care of her early, but if it goes beyond 2 rounds, then yeah, Joanna will definitely tire her out, and she'll get a win via decision. And it's funny because a lot of people, will, I guess, criticize fighters who win fights by way of decision. But I'm like, a win is a win is a win as long as you're getting it done. Does it really matter what the end result is? Never understood. I never understood how fighters get critiqued for winning fights, by way of decision. Because, like, prime example, there was a streak in which Demetrius Johnson had won, like, say, 5 or 6 straight fights by way of decision. That was the knock on Dominic Cruz once upon a time. And I'm like, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand how.
And we find out that 6 of his 10 title defenses have actually been finishes.
Exactly.
The majority of his title defenses have actually been finishes.
Absolutely. Right.
So now it's not like these people don't try to win. They try.
Right. Yeah. It's not that they don't try.
Can't get it done.
Absolutely. I mean, things play out the way they play out. But again, a win is a win is a win. And as long as you're getting marks in the win column, does it really matter how it's being done?
Right.
So now we're going to move on to the marquee matchup of the night, where we have Cleveland's own Stipe Miocic, who is the UFC heavyweight champion, facing off against Junior Dos Santos, former heavyweight champion for a second time. How do you see this fight playing out? What's your call on it?
Honestly, the first fight was really close. I just rewatched it, and to me, it was just a matter of Junior getting stronger as the fight went on. He got his second win in that third round, and he was able to win the last 3 rounds, in my opinion. But Stipe started really, really strong, was able to bust him up early. But Stipe is better now. That's for definite. That's definitely sure. He's better now, especially his movement. For a heavyweight, he moves like a light heavyweight, quite frankly. The way he knocked out Fabricio Verdum off of his back foot while moving backwards, these are things that we hadn't seen from Stipe before. So this time around, personally, I did pick Stipe. With Junior Dos Santos, he's taken so much damage over the years. I wonder if this long break was too long, if it was long enough, you know what I mean? I'm just not sure where he's at. But this is going to be just as good as the first fight. I won't be surprised if I'm completely wrong. But I expect Stipe to perform better as the fight goes on. He kind of gasped in that first fight. So that's what lost it for him. Otherwise, he was winning. He won those first 2 rounds hands down. And quite frankly, there's a lot of people who thought he won the fight. And they had a good case for it. So the first fight was extremely close. The second fight, rematches are tricky. Sometimes they're close. Sometimes it's a landslide. You never know. Sometimes they're like the Tyron Woodley Wonderboy fight we just saw, where they both had way less action because they seem to respect each other more in the second fight. So you never know how these rematches are tricky. But I think the heavyweights are going back.
I'm actually glad you touched on it, because unfortunately with rematches, fighters do tend to fight more tentatively than they did the first time around, where they just let their hands go. Looking at this fight, I look at Junior Dos Santos and I remember him for what he was once upon a time. And then I think of Cain Velasquez beating him twice. And as you said, he's been damaged goods ever since. I think those 2 matches against Cain really took a lot out of JDS. And he hasn't been the force that he once was once upon a time. Whereas with Stipe, he's proven to be more athletic. Stipe has shown that he can apply pressure. And JDS, as good of a fighter as he is, he's that type of fighter. Per Cain Velasquez, when you apply pressure on JDS, he's lost. He's a fish out of water. So I think Stipe will be the type to apply the pressure that's needed to constantly stay on JDS, not give him any breathing room, and once again retain his title. My dream fight personally in the heavyweight division, because I like these guys so much, is Stipe Miocic and Cain Velasquez. If Cain's body can actually hold up to make it to an event, that will be my dream heavyweight fight. How do you feel about that possibility?
You said Stipe against who?
Cain Velasquez.
Cain Velasquez. I mean, I would like
healthy
to see
Cain
that.
Velasquez.
We all kind of want to see if Cain could be healthy, quite frankly.
Absolutely.
So if Cain can be healthy and maintain that, then in fact, I think people wanted to see that this time. But I think what would do, something like that. I can't remember quite right now. Walking right back into work.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm with you on that.
That would be, we do want to see that matchup before Cain's finished, quite frankly. I don't know how many injuries and how many surgeries he can take. So hopefully we will see that. But who knows?
I mean,
right now,
I know, right? Who knows? We shall see.
Miocic, which would be just as exciting.
Definitely. Before we leave, I just want to check the panel, see if anyone has any questions for Janelle in reference to the fight game at all.
You know what, Janelle? I got a question about boxing. I know you said that you got into MMA starting off of boxing. are you excited for the Triple G Canelo fight?
I am. I haven't actually got a chance to get excited yet. First, I have to wait for this to happen.
How do you
So
see
I'm
that
like
going?
back here in the summertime.
How do you see that going?
Oh gosh, I'm not gonna make a prediction on that one yet. Way too early.
Way too early. Do you see an all action fight though? I see it as an all action fight.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No doubt about it. Well, Janelle, we thank you so much for joining us. We thank you for availing yourself to us to give us your expertise on the upcoming card. First things first, I would love, Mike, and I'm sure my co-hosts agree with me on this.
Absolutely.
We would love for you to be the resident lady voice of MMA. So anytime there's a fight coming up, we would love to have you on board to give your, take on what's forthcoming.
Not just lady voice, just MMA.
The voice MMA altogether.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So the invite is definitely there. And secondly, secondly, please give all of your social media handles so we'll know how to follow you and keep up with all things Janelle Owens.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. You can find me, of course, on YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of that lovely stuff under my name, Janelle Owens, Jaynell, or Janelle O, Jaynell, like either one, or actually just Janelle too,
Awesome.
JUSTJAYNELL.
Thank you.
Anything related to Janelle.
Gotcha. That's a bet. Count that down. Thank you once again. You were freaking awesome.
Absolutely.
My co-host would use another word.
Again.
My co-host would use another word, but if you want to use that word,
You are fucking awesome. I'm telling you right now.
You really are.
Please come back to Run It Back Radio whenever you want to.
I will. And my boss says hi. She gave me a side eye because y'all had me on for way too long.
All right, we apologize. We don't want to get you in trouble at work.
All right.
All right, take care. Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, that was Mrs. Janelle Owens. You heard the social media handles that she provided us. I follow her on Instagram at JustJanelle. Once again, the question is, what doesn't she do? We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we will discuss Josh Gordon being denied reinstatement into the NFL. This is Run It Back Radio.
You're listening to Run It Back with Deontay and Amp, broadcasting from SAD Media Studios in the DMV.
His reinstatement application has been denied.
Right.
What do you know about this?
Right, so this was actually submitted back on March 1st, David. It has been denied by the NFL. Now, we don't know the specifics as to why the NFL denied the reinstatement application. It can be for a variety of factors. Reinstatement could be contingent upon showing you have been entered in a treatment program, whatever it might be. Now, we know that Josh Gordon submitted himself to a treatment facility last fall, so the glimmer of hope that may have existed to see him on the field as soon as week 1 of this season, not currently still there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Josh Gordon and the larger weed debate. Josh Gordon is a Cleveland Browns wide receiver. He hasn't played in the NFL since 2014 due to repeated NFL drug policy offenses. Gordon applied for reinstatement in March of this year and was denied on May 11th, yesterday. He can reapply in the fall. The last full season Gordon played with the Cleveland Browns, he had 87 catches for a league-leading 1,646 yards, and during that season, he only played in 14 of 16 games. Now, Gordon checked himself into rehab in October of 2016, and it was needed because his problems go all the way back to college. He was kicked off of Baylor University's team. He was kicked off of Utah's football team for failing drug tests. And of the Cleveland Browns' last 48 games, Gordon has been suspended for 43 of them. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring in two guests with me tonight, two special guests. First up is Mr. Kevin Watkins. He's a native Clevelander. He's a Cleveland Brown fan. He's a fan of all things Cleveland. You've heard him break down boxing on Run It Back Radio before. He's going to give us his insight on the whole Josh Gordon situation and the larger weed in the NFL debate, I should say. We're also joined as well by Michael Ellerby. You've also heard him break down boxing on Run It Back Radio, so we're definitely happy to have both of them to weigh in on this debate. The first question, Kevin, I'm going to throw to you. Will Josh Gordon ever play in the NFL again?
Hey, good evening, guys. You know, the funny thing is, Deontay, as a fan, I'm honestly hoping so. But I think that you got to look at it two ways. The humanitarian in me wants me to say, you know what? I hope Josh gets it together. It seems like he's a troubled young man. He got a lot of things that maybe he's trying to iron out. But the fan in me is like, I can only be but so patient. But the fortunate thing is that we don't have a lot of money tied into him. He's still on that rookie deal. He got suspended and his money got froze. Things have gotten so bad for him. At this point in time, he's living with his business manager. He was a used car salesman in off season a season ago. Seemed like things were on the up and up, and then this windstorm of Johnny Manziel came into town, and then boom, he fails another drug test. So it's kind of like, I hope he does play for us because he's an asset. You don't come across a lot of guys 6'4", 6'5" with his type of speed that can catch. He changed the offense, instantly. So as a fan, I'm hoping so.
What about you, Mike? You think he'll ever play in the NFL again?
I think it is possible if he gets his act together. He has to become more disciplined. At this point in time, he's picking, the drugs over his career in the NFL, which is sad. But the Cleveland Browns are still showing a lot of faith in him by just allowing him to be a member of the organization. So, I think he's definitely got a lot of talent. He was a top 5 NFL receiver when he was at the height of his game. So, it would behoove him to try to do everything he can in his power to become an NFL player again.
Is it fair? I know that seems like a strange question for somebody who's been given so many chances, and he's violated the NFL's substance abuse policy so many times. But is it fair? And when I say that question, I'm specifically talking about weed. He's not using steroids. He's not using cocaine. He's not drunk driving. He's not harming anyone. Is it fair?
Well,
I'm sorry.
Well, you can look at this two ways. It's fair. It's not fair because everyone that knows me know I love weed. So, weed is one of the best things on the planet. So, I don't think that he's hurting anyone by smoking weed. I don't think he's even hurting his team. I know NFL players that smoke weed during the season. That's definitely a fact. That's a proven fact. And if they only test people once a year, and that's April 20th. So as long as you don't have weed in your system, 30 days beforehand, you should be fine. And even before that, there's about 3 different stages that a player has to go through to get to where Josh is at. You have the first stage where if you smoke and they catch you by April 20th, because that's the only time they test. If they catch you smoking weed, by that point you have a 90-day probationary period, and you have to meet with a doctor. After that, you have stage 2. You know what I mean? So after stage 2, if you get caught and within that 90 days, you have a longer time period, which is about 24 months, 2 years. So then that's when it starts getting hard for these guys that smoke weed on a regular basis. And then after that, you have stage 3, which basically means you get suspended. After that, we start fining you and so forth. So I think the game when you go into the NFL. You know what it's about. You know what drugs they ban. So, at that point, I do think it's fair because you're an adult.
Gentlemen, I just want to chime in with a comment with this whole Josh Gordon thing. It amazes me that the NFL is not willing to reinstate Josh after, I guess, his numerous counts with marijuana. However, they will do whatever they can to preserve the name of former New York Giant kicker Josh Brown, who had beat his wife since 2007 or 2008 when she was pregnant with their oldest daughter. The New York Giants as an organization were well aware of his abusive ways, and they swept him under the rug time and time again. He has a violent history dating back to his college days at the University of Nebraska. And even at the Pro Bowl, NFL security had to stop Brown from beating on his wife at a family function. The Pro Bowl is considered the most family-oriented venue of all NFL settings and situations and events. But they find a way to preserve the name of Josh Brown and save him, and will do whatever they can to keep him in the league, I guess, until one time was one time too many. And they finally did something just this past season but you're going to get rid of Josh Gordon for doing nothing more than smoking marijuana. Call me crazy, but I think domestic abuse is way worse than smoking marijuana, but that's just my opinion.
I get that. It's funny when it comes to sports. Sometimes you don't want to necessarily go to talking about, it being racial, but it almost feels like it's always a double standard. Yeah. And what I mean by that is you look at all the depictions you get of Babe Ruth. He was this, he was that. But when you really dive into it, he was a drunk. I mean, most games he came to bat drinking. He had all this alcohol in his breath, had all these home runs, and you're fine with it. You look at Tom Brady. Deflategate. So you mean to tell me when you read the text messages that he had with the training staff, in his text message, he said he uses the words deflating. So when he said deflating, he was really implying his weight loss. Like, really? Right. When he said deflate, he meant weight loss. So it's just always a double standard, and it's a terrible thing. It's, even Johnny Manziel. Look at the same team. When they said Johnny Manziel was in rehab, did they ever tell you what he was in rehab for? Never revealed it. But when it's Josh Gordon, I'm gonna tell you this, I'm gonna tell you that. So it's ironic that at times there's a double standard, and it's just I don't know that it'll ever change, but I hope for Josh's sake, as what Mike said, that he can kind of get it right.
Yeah, Kevin, you kind of alluded to it. I'll just go ahead and say it's definitely a double standard. Of course it is. It's always been a double standard. America is a big double standard. We know that. So fellas, I see this debate really about Josh Gordon in a bigger perspective. It's more a debate about how do you feel about marijuana, right? So there are those who say he's an adult, like you said, Mike. The rules are the rules. You know the rules. You know not to break the rules. And then there are those who say the NFL should evolve with the rest of society's view of marijuana usage. Where do you weigh in on that debate, Kevin? I'm gonna have you go first. And if there's a little bit of interference in the background of one of you guys' lines, I don't know if it's like a TV that's loud or something in the background. If y'all could turn it down just a little for us.
Okay, it kind of cut out. You was asking what's my stance on just the policy itself?
No, not necessarily the policy, but I want you to weigh on the bigger picture debate, right? So you have the guys who are the rules guys. You have the Stephen A. Smiths who's fond of saying, stay off the weed, his whole shtick. But you have those guys, but then you have the other people who are more progressive in their viewpoint and believing that the NFL should evolve with the rest of society's view of marijuana usage. Where do you fall on that bigger picture debate?
Got you. My personal stance on it, I really don't have a problem with it. If the players decide to use it, I'm okay with that. I think, certainly if a player, he sacrifices everything. He goes out there, he plays a physical game. And if he wants to, kind of treat that with marijuana in terms of just even coping with the pain, I'm okay with that. Because I would rather him use marijuana than any other substance they'll probably prescribe to him that may have long-term effects. So me personally, I have no issue with them using marijuana. I mean, it seems like it impacts everyone differently. Some persons you may feel like, their judgment become impaired. You have others that feel like it becomes heightened to the point where they're more focused. So I'm okay with it. If I look at LT and it's determined that he's taking cocaine before every game, but he's revered as being aggressive, the best, linebacker in the game, then I got to kind of look at that. Would I rather him take marijuana or him take cocaine? But me personally, I don't have an issue with marijuana usage. As long as it's controlled, you're not advocating children use it. It's not like they're sponsoring it like they do Bush beer ads. You got players in beer ads and they can sell, alcohol, etc. But marijuana, we're gonna shun them on that. But yet it's approved in Seattle, it's approved in Denver, and how ironic the first year it gets approved, those two teams make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's not only is it a good point, but if you think about the NFL experience, if you go to an NFL game about maybe 4 or 5 hours before the game even starts, you have people in the parking lot pretty much getting liquored up. You go into the game and people are doing the whole course of the game, first, second quarter, halftime, third, fourth quarter, all the way up until the game is over. They are continually getting liquored up. And certainly we know the dangers of drunk driving, and we certainly know the impairment of alcohol abuse on the senses. Mike, where do you weigh on that bigger picture debate, Mike? Are you with the people who say the rules are the rules, you should know better? or are you with the people? And I know you express your love for marijuana, but I guess I'm talking about it in a structured environment like the NFL. Are you with the people who want them to look at it in a more progressive way?
Well, yes. I think we are all beginning to look at it in a more progressive way. And I think the NFL is actually getting there. I mean, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys recently have been quoted saying that they think the NFL needs to relook its substance abuse policy. I think it is coming. I'm not sure exactly when, but it is coming. And I don't think I know anyone that I know that would risk, smoking weed over an NFL career and millions of dollars. I mean, that's a lot of money to give up. So, I mean, they can. The crazy thing about this is NFL players can smoke all through the season, no problem. And on a regular basis, they're not tested. So if we were in the NFL, we could be smoking right now, and we would be fine. It's after April 20th. Like, they can smoke and go crazy. Just don't be smoking by March. You know? So I mean, even right now, it's still lenient in my opinion. But going forward, the country, the world, everyone is going towards seeing some of the benefits that marijuana has, treating pain and so forth. So
speaking of benefits, man, let me just kind of give you some numbers, man. I'm real big on stats and numbers. I know you are too, Mike, and you are too, Kev, as well as Ant. But let me give you some marijuana numbers, okay? So according to Business Insider, in a January 2017 article, weed sales are projected to bring in $20.2 billion by the year 2021. Currently in 8 states and the District of Columbia, recreational marijuana use is legal. And Kevin, you alluded to Colorado having weed be legalized for recreational usage. Well, how about this? Colorado has more weed dispensaries than Starbucks and McDonald's combined in the entire state. So weed is big business, man. Weed is big business. You know, how long before these NFL owners see this big business money and want a piece of that and start putting dispensaries in their actual stadiums right next to the bars that they have in their actual stadiums? $20.2 billion is a lot of money, and they all want that piece of the pie. We know that. So the last question I want to ask you guys, and then we're going to go ahead and get out of here. And Kevin, you alluded to this, but Derek Bell and Eugene Monroe, 2 current NFL players, they believe that marijuana should be given serious consideration as pain management medication as opposed to the opioids that players are currently given. What's your take on that, Kevin? How do you feel about that? Kevin and Mike, both of y'all weigh in on that. Should weed be studied seriously as a pain relief medication over the opioids that these gentlemen are given now?
Absolutely, because you look at the what I guess if a physician can tell me what's the long-term ramification for taking marijuana use and compare that to, like you said, taking opium or opiates, etc. What's compare the two? If you look at CTE, you look at all these different things that these players kind of go through when they're in the game. Everything's great. When the game is over and they really feeling the outcome of all these brutal hits that they've taken, then it's like that's when reality set in. But I would rather you actually take marijuana, because it's not going to have that same effect. I was watching a video actually, I think on World Star Hip Hop. It was a young man. He was what was it? He suffered from some type of disorder where he kind of didn't have control of his bodily functions. So the dad, trying to think outside the box, he actually had him do like a marijuana vapor. And with that, he became much more coherent. He slowed down. He understood. And even with that, he still couldn't get the medical marijuana to be approved for him, I guess, with his medication. So I say that to say, I would say they should definitely look into it because it's not having the same impact that other drugs would, obviously have.
Yeah, I agree as well. Marijuana treats everything from headaches to cancer. And so many people all over the world have been using marijuana, even holistic people, So there's no getting around the effects and the benefits of marijuana. So I mean, I think everyone knows at this point in time that marijuana is fantastic. I mean, it can be used in so many different ways. So the NFL is going to learn a lesson, and basically the right people just have to get a piece of the pie.
Absolutely, I
In
agree with you
immortal words of
100%.
Smokey, we be letting you know.
Hey, Kev, go ahead and get the people your social media handles before we get out of here, man.
You can follow me on Instagram at King of Ohio. That's KNGOFOH.
All right, Mike.
And as I told you before, man,
We gotta mail you a letter. We gotta mail you a letter.
I'm incognito right now.
We gotta get in touch with Mike. You gotta mail him a letter, Kev.
But the only way you can reach me right now is Mike.Ellerbee. That's ELLERBEE @gmail.com.
Man, he got that joint linked to his Hotmail account, man. You fooling nobody. Kev, Mike, I want to thank y'all for joining us, man. We appreciate you coming on and weighing in on the Josh Gordon and the weed debate as a whole. I'm sure my co-hosts appreciate you coming on as well.
Absolutely.
And gentlemen, please don't hesitate to join us again. We'll welcome you back. Next time we'll have y'all in the studio with the rest of this food we got in here, man. We do apologize for not inviting y'all in to enjoy this beautiful wings and potato salad. We got some beans.
Yeah. And Kevin, I just want to say to you, based on the knowledge that you imparted on us some time back, man, just blame it on the suede texture of his hair, because you know what I mean? It brings about arrogance and it brings about self-centeredness. You know what I mean? Like, you should have been able to partake in his goodness too. So it's the suede texture, man.
Listen, man, when I first met Kevin, man.
I know, Ant.
Listen, when I first met Kevin, he was using a brush with the full handle. About 10 years later, he got the joint with no handle on it no more, because he ain't got enough hair no more, man.
Oh, so you gonna say that right here as I'm sitting beside you with a bald head of my own?
Hey, that's my choice, though.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Kev ain't got no choice.
Oh, wow. I tried, Kev. I tried.
All right, fellas, thanks for joining us, man.
Person, like I ain't on the line. That's
like,
cool, man.
like you ain't here, right? Hey, thanks for joining us, fellas. Have a good night, y'all.
Appreciate you, gentlemen.
Run It Back Radio. When we come back, it's commentary time.
You're listening to Run It Back with Deontay and Ant, broadcasting from SAB Media Studios in the DMV.
Yo, Dre, what up? I got something to say.
Y'all know what that clip means. It's commentary time, Ant.
Just let this ride a little bit. Okay, so in the brief existence of Run It Back Radio, this show has been blessed tremendously, and I just can't help but think that the hand of God is on us. Anytime my co-host says to me, I need you to let your light shine, be you, magnify and lift up the name of Jesus as much as you can, man, because I truly think your example can speak to our listeners and it can help somebody. Somebody may be going through something, somebody may be depressed, they may be discouraged, they may commit suicide, but based on the reviews that we received of our show thus far, man, I truly think your light shines in a way that could change somebody's life, man, and that can let them know that God isn't done with them yet. And so I just want to take this opportunity to truly thank God for everything that he's done for us, man, because if not for him, we wouldn't be here right now. His word assures us that he is the type of God that will open up the windows of heaven and pour out blessings upon blessings upon blessings that we won't have room enough to receive. Like with the exposure that we're getting, with the people that we're meeting, with the way that the brand is expanding, man, I'm just truly seeing the fruition of God and his work through the show, and I am truly humbled, I'm truly thankful, I'm truly appreciative. And what's funny is we're just 5 shows in. He's not done with us yet. There's way more that he has in store for us, and I'm excited. And truth be told, man, like I'm at a place in my life and in my faith right now where it's so crazy that we could become multi-millionaires as a result of this thing. So Deontay, truthfully, I thank God for you, and I'm thankful that you're allowing me to be who I am. Yes, I love to clown and I love to play, but I gotta give honor the way it's due. If not for God, this thing would not be possible, man. So I truly thank you.
Thanks for saying that. I appreciate you, of course. And definitely want you to shine and be who you are and embrace your faith and protest it as so. So yeah, I appreciate you as well, bro. Running Back Radio, we're back. We're getting ready to close out the show. Another good show. We definitely want to thank our guest tonight. Go ahead and remind them once again, Ant, who the MMA guest was this evening and where she can be reached.
There was a lot of black girl magic this evening.
Black
here
girl
on,
magic.
Running Back Radio. That's Miss Janelle Owen. She can be followed on Instagram at Just Janelle, at JustJaynell.
All right, and we also had Kevin Watkins and Michael Ellaby on. Kevin Watkins can be reached on Instagram at King of Ohio, and Michael Ellaby can be reached at the email that he provided.
And of course, we cannot forget the two lovely ladies that sat with us all show long and endured our buffoonery and our clowning and everything else that came forward and took us some sports talk. Robin and Renee of Robin and Renee Catering. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us, for sharing your gift with us, for blessing us with your culinary skills and
bringing these plates
back,
man.
Yes, and we do plan to partake moving forward. Absolutely, we definitely plan to.
Yeah, there's still some chicken
support.
left.
Yeah, oh, there is chicken left. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get another plate.
We are not the type of black people that shy about eating chicken. No, we're not those type of black people.
But even outside of tonight's experience, we definitely want to, patronize and support your movement. You all are doing an awesome job, and we wish you nothing but success.
Absolutely. Give their website once again.
RobinandRenee.com. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Robin and Renee.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, my name is Deontay. This is Running Back Radio. You can reach me via Twitter at IGOTAWYWITWORDS. And that is...
Once again, this is Ant. I can be reached on both Twitter and Instagram at Ant the Liberated. The show's social media handles for both platforms is at Run It Back Radio.
And we want to thank Sharita Ashman for winning the $50 gift card that we gave out.
Not Ashman, brother. You know Sharita gonna let you have it if you
What
pronounce
is
her
it?
name correctly. Ashman, not Ashiman. Like you're saying she's an ashy man. Like Ashman. I got him, Sharita. I got him for you.
Sharita from PG, right?
Yeah, she is.
African name. You know she from PG. I'm just playing, Sharita. You know, you the
can do that to Sharita because she went to Delaware State University.
Yeah,
She's a fellow Hornet. Hashtag Hornet Pride.
All right, so you can find us on YouTube by searching Run It Back Radio, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, we have a very special treat for you. Next week, we will be joined by special guest, Texas A&M professor and author, Dr. Tommy Curry, to talk about the history of African Americans in the game of tennis. He definitely has some interesting things to say about the Williams sisters as well. Plus, we'll have a Wizards update as well as a Nationals update. And please don't miss Dr. Tommy Curry. This man is ether at all times. Until next week, y'all, Run It Back Radio. We out.
God bless. Stay safe.